Hi, Goran.
Hi, Samreen.
How are you?
I'm good. How do you feel?
I feel excited.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Top 5?
Absolutely.
Proud.
You had a fantastic year this year,
Yeah.
and I see that 2026 is also shaping up to be fantastic for you.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited for what 2026 has to offer with the changing market. But I think it's just going to be different, and different's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Different is good. I always think back when the first idea when I got into real estate, the first notion, and let me ask you that. When did you decide, when the first moment that you said, hey, I think I'm going to do real estate? When did that happen? Tell me about that.
It wasn't overnight.
Okay.
I wish I could say it was overnight. It definitely was not overnight. However, it was a decision that I did not make lightly. It was something that I knew I had to change to better my life, to better my family's life. It was a combination of a bunch of days mixed together, but you were involved in one of the days when I met you at my previous job, and I got introduced into real estate because of you. And it was a day that I met you, and I realized that there was more for me to do out there in terms of helping people the way that you were helping people. And I did have a knack for sales. I had a knack for interior design, which was what the field that I graduated from, and I wanted to combine the two together. So meeting you was a big pivotal point, and also doing a lot of digging and research into the people in my life. I'm a millennial, so there was a lot of millennials priced out of the market during the time that I was thinking about it, and I wanted to get them into the market. That was a really big pivotal point for me. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So the thought of, you hear about realtors and the image of realtors,
Yeah.
and what the image in your head was and what the reality of your situation is there a difference?
100%. Yeah,
Tell me about that.
there's a big difference.
Tell me about that.
I will not lie to you. I definitely thought it was a little bit more like Selling Sunset, glamorous.
What, it's not?
It's definitely not Selling Sunset, I'll tell you that.
Because this is real.
This is real. The heels are shorter, I won't lie, because it's a little bit more practical, but it is glamorous in its own way. The glamour that I find is different than what I thought I was going into it with. It was a little bit more of a hands-on experience. I think joining the team right from the get-go was a big deal for me personally. It taught me how to handle emotions. I'm a very emotional person, obviously, but I wanted to handle other people's emotions and take care of problems that were not necessarily my own, but make it my own. The reality was definitely a little bit more stark. It was more real people. It was not glamorous photo shoots. I know sometimes we have those, but it definitely was a lot more intentional, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What is one thing that people misunderstand of what you do, and what do you think people think that actually we do?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. So a lot of things that people don't understand about real estate is the late night phone calls. It's a lot of back end stuff that you don't necessarily see, not just with paperwork, but with negotiations. Sometimes things crawl into the late night hours, and I keep that to myself. I don't want my clients to carry that burden or that stress or worry. So I'll take it on. I'll sacrifice my nights out with my family. I'll sacrifice personal friends, hangouts and stuff like that. But I think there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see, but I prefer that they don't see it. I prefer that they just see things going smoothly, smooth transaction. They don't know how it happened, and just move forward with it,
What is your standard when no one is watching?
Ooh, my standard doesn't change. When someone's watching me, whether they are or they're not, I like to hold myself to the highest of standards. Whether it's waking up at a certain time every single day, for me it's showing up to the office every single day as much as I can. I mean, I've shown up to the office carrying grief. I've shown up to the office carrying heartbreak. I've shown up to the office no matter what for my clients, because even if I'm dealing with my own personal situations, that standard doesn't lower for somebody that's waiting for the biggest transaction of their life.
Well said. Well said. What is the hardest lesson that you've had to learn so far?
The hardest lesson coming from my heart is separating my emotions from the transaction during negotiations. Sometimes I'm dealing with a pregnant woman, and I know her emotions are on high, and I'm also very emotional myself. I want to make sure that she's taken care of, not just for the baby, but for herself and her new family. Separating my emotions sometimes tends to be a little bit more difficult, but I've actually earned my stripes, because a lot of times on the other end of the negotiations, they can't see my sweat, they can't see my tears, they can't see the blood, sweat, and tears combined all together in the midst of negotiations. It's a lot more that goes into it.
What do clients want from an agent?
Ooh, I think clients want somebody who genuinely cares about them. I think it's great to be a hard knock person. It's great to be, you know, a hard person in general, but I think they genuinely want someone that cares about where they're going to live, what the school district of their children are going to be. I think being a caring person, genuinely from the heart, earns you more than that number, that transaction at the end of the day. And I am grateful that I do have an amount of transactions that I'm very proud of, but each one has a story for me personally. They're not just numbers. Every single client has a name, of course. Every single client has a story. I follow up with them years and years on and make sure that their kids are still integrated into their new school and maybe even high school at that point.
Smart.
But it's very important to connect with them in that way.
What's one thing you don't compromise on?
I think my biggest thing that I don't compromise on is my family. As much as I sacrifice for my business, my family is very, very important. They come first with everything. I also recognize that my clients also have families. Their families come first. So I completely understand if things get in the way, if we have to change something in the offer to benefit their family, because I have a family of my own and I understand. But I think family time is something that you don't ever compromise on. I've learned that the hard way. Missed a lot of birthdays, missed a lot of graduations, and one thing that I've definitely learned is that you can do it all. Whether people tell you can't, I 100% believe you can work out every day. You can show up at the office every day, and you can show up for your family every day.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What's one thing that clients say about you?
Ooh, I think something that clients say about me, and I've actually heard it in the past, is that I do connect a little intensely in the midst of negotiations with them. I want them to feel that level of care, because it's the biggest transaction of their life at the end of the day. One thing I have noticed is my past clients always reach back out to me. That's something that I've noticed is a really big deal for me, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, a message on a text message of some sort. It's really important that they connect back with me and that I make that connection as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Samreen, what are you really building through this business?
Ooh, I'm building hopefully a legacy, hopefully my name. My name is one thing that I always say is my name is the one thing that I never want to compromise on either. It's a big deal for me. I want to lead with honesty, integrity. This is a longevity kind of business. Something I don't waver on is making sure that I'm doing everything the way that I would handle it for my personal family. If I feel something is not right, I will voice it right away. But I definitely do think that building my legacy is something that I really look forward to, because I'm still young and I think there's a lot more to do out there in real estate. It's no secret, I'm very Palestinian.
Yeah,
and
bravo.
Thank you. And I do connect a lot with my community ever since I was young, but being in real estate adds another edge, another layer to it. They feel seen, they feel like they have a representative in Windsor that looks like them, that speaks like them.
And you can help your own people and help them communicate and navigate through the waters.
100%. Whether it's clients that have certain religious backgrounds, or I can sympathize, I can empathize, because I have religious intentions as well, and I understand how it's like for different people, not just within my own personal community, but outside of my own community. I'd like to connect and learn about other languages, and I think it's very important that we do that in our field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about a story, about a past experience that you can think of where somebody from your country, Palestine, came. English probably is very much a second language. How you guided them through the path and got them to home, and the steps that you went through.
100%. Yeah, it's more challenging when language becomes a barrier. I'm grateful enough. I was born in Canada my whole life, so I never got to experience turmoil of any sort. Yeah. Knock on wood. But I definitely do think that my parents played a big role with this. I never learned English until I was 6 years old, and I was born in Canada. They made sure that Arabic was the #1 language that I spoke because they knew it was going to matter eventually, and it definitely does help. So I think language really plays a big factor. The step-by-step process doesn't change just because they're my own culture, they're my own people. My clients matter to me in every background, but it does make things a little bit more personal when they don't speak English, and I am their only connection between getting them that key to that house or not having that key to that house. I think it's very important that we make that connection in the beginning.
Do you remember what drew you to this business, and how has your community helped you in the business?
What drew me to my community,
What drew you to this business?
Yeah.
And how has your community helped you?
Yes, being one of the only female Palestinian realtors in Windsor has played a big factor because there's not.
You're the only female Palestinian.
I believe so. I'm not holding that.
Amazing.
I'm not holding that up for judgment, but I do believe so. It plays a big factor because I am a woman, and with working with a woman, there is a level of care that you might not necessarily get. Nothing against my male realtor friends, but there is a level of care that you do get. I think in this business, it is super, super important to make sure that you connect your community with yourself, and that's a big gist of it.
Samreen, I know that you're involved with the local real estate board.
Yeah.
I know that you're involved with OREA, the Ontario Real Estate Association.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding. I know I've been through that path. And I see you doing it, and I cheer you on, as you know. I keep telling you, keep going. Why do you do it? And what do you get out of that?
Truthfully, it was not a big thing when I first started. That was not my main goal. My main goal was helping locally, helping clients locally, building a name for myself within the brokerage. There was a lot of factors, but as time went on, I realized there was a lot of things that I would change. And instead of just sitting in my office complaining about it, I was like, I'm going to do something about it. I reached out to my local board. I reached out to outside of my local board, the Ontario Real Estate Association, the Real Estate Council of Ontario. I tried to make a change that I felt like there was a divide in. Connecting the everyday realtor, which I do believe I am the everyday realtor, and the associations, I think is super important. There's a lot of decisions to be made, and I think I can't complain about it if I'm not going to do anything about it.
If you want something done, get involved.
Get involved, yeah.
Good for you.
Yep.
Good for you.
The involvement in my community is super important. Like I said, does stem locally. It always will stem locally. You'll see me at my local rallies. You'll see me at my local gym. You'll see me connecting with people that maybe I wouldn't normally connect with unless I do go outside of my bubble. As much as I love my colleagues at Team Goran, I think it is very important to branch out and to get to know people that you normally wouldn't connect to. They do serve your career in some way, whether it's knowing a roofer, whether it's knowing a builder of some sort. That connection, you never know, will drive your business at some point, but it will help a potential client one day when they're in the middle of a windstorm and they need the shingles replaced, which just happened pretty recently. So I think connecting the community all together is a really big pivotal point for me.
So what makes the neighborhood important for people, and how should they stay connected in neighborhoods?
Yeah, I think the neighborhood is a very important factor. That's something that I really look forward to when I know a certain street it's family oriented, or if I know a certain street is more student oriented. I think it depends from client to client of what they're looking for. School districts, what school districts are within that neighborhood. I want to be knowledgeable of that. I will do that driving for them. I will do that research for them. I think also a big factor is seeing how connected the neighbors are when we're in the midst of showings. You'll see people raking other people's leaves, people shaking hands while we're crossing the street. That kind of stuff is small things like that I really do look forward to when I know that the neighborhood is gonna benefit my clients one day. I give full credit to staying grounded to my parents. That is the #1 factor. They've never let me walk out of the house with a big head ever, no matter what my accomplishments were. I remember getting on a plane to Ottawa for OREA, and my mom was like, yep, come back in one piece, and that's how it was. But my parents are a big, big factor in that. I think also the brokerage plays a big factor because even though we are professional colleagues, there is a lot of emotions, and you get to know a lot of your colleagues more personally. I have a few that I can name off the top of my head that have been there for me during the biggest moments of my life, whether they were great or bad. And I think staying grounded is the biggest factor, because you can let this industry get the best of you. And I choose not to let that happen. I choose to just be grounded, stay where my roots are planted, and just be there for the people that care about me.
When people think of you, what do you want them to feel?
I want people to feel genuine. I want them to know that they are, like I mentioned earlier, not just a number to me. Each person does have a story. Each person does have their own tale when they get that key at the end of the day. That key, I get a lot of texts from my clients that when they put that key through the door, no matter how many times they've put it, they still think of me when they walk in with their right foot. Those small things really do matter. When my clients post pictures on Facebook of their Christmas tree, and I know I was the reason that their Christmas tree is in that living room, those small things really do make a big difference for me personally, and I don't take them for granted one bit.
Who are you when the deal is on the line?
Ooh, I don't know if you're gonna like this. I'm
Bring it.
feisty. As nice as I am on a daily basis, when it comes to the deal being on the line, it's a big deal for me. And I know people don't see that side of me very often, but I do become a little bit of a shark. I know how to get things done without playing dirty. I always play nice in the sandbox, but when things have to get done, I am firm, polite, because I still don't let that waver, but you still have to be polite. But when the deal's on the line, there's a lot of factors at play. It's making sure that, we can get them the conditions that we originally wanted. It's making sure that we can sell the home, if I'm on the selling side, for a price that they wanted when they first walked in. There's a lot of things when it comes to being a realtor, and I think how you are in that moment is actually the biggest factor.
Samreen, I've had the honor and the privilege of working with you since you got in the business. I see nothing but great things from you. I see your beautiful, kind heart, and your soul really shines. And I see how you're in the office with your colleagues, how you always want to help. And I think that others have helped you along the way to get to the success that you're at today. And you want to give that back. And that's evident on a daily basis. And I got to tell you something. Rarely do I see individuals like you at your level being committed to this task, and I see great things.
Thank you, Goran.
You're going places, my friend.
It means a lot coming from you. I remember our first meeting, and this being here, I could have never pictured. It's a dream come true, and that sounds very cheesy, but being that young Sam that walked into your office versus now is a completely different person, and I have nobody to thank but you and Danielle.
You're too kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Goran.